Hello and welcome to Health Professional Radio. I'm your host, Neil Howard. Thank you for joining us again. In this segment, we're going to be speaking with Nelson Ambrogio. He's joining us to talk about being a charity runner for the Target Cancer Foundation. Now, the Target Cancer Foundation, or TCF, supports initiatives at the forefront of rare cancer treatment by funding innovative research, fostering collaborations, and raising awareness among scientists, clinicians, and patients. Welcome to Health Professional Radio, Nelson. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Neil, for having me.
You're joining us here representing Bayer Pharmaceuticals. Tell us a bit about yourself, your role at Bayer, and then tell us why you chose to run in the Boston Marathon this year.
Yes, thank you, Neil. Well, first of all, I am a husband and a father of four. I have been running for more than 15 years now, and look, I'm not a naturally talented runner, but I put a lot of discipline and effort into my training. And I love the challenge of pushing myself to run longer distances, especially marathon distance, which I find particularly challenging. But this time I decided to run for a very special purpose, which was to raise funds for cancer research, which made the Boston Marathon even more special to me. This is also very closely related to what I do on a day-to-day basis because within Bayer, I am responsible for our Oncology business unit, so responsible for making our cancer treatments available.
Now, I understand you're the Senior Vice President and General Manager of Oncology at Bayer Pharmaceuticals, correct?
That's correct.
Choosing to run in this year's Boston Marathon as a Target Cancer Foundation charity runner, tell us what prompted you to make that decision.
What really inspired me is how Target Cancer Foundation is supporting initiatives that are really at the forefront of rare cancer treatment. They are funding innovative research, they are creating collaborations, they are raising awareness, and they are also, they have also initiated the TRACK study, which is driven by Target Cancer Foundation, and which is aiming to provide individualized treatment recommendations to patients with rare cancers. That's something that really inspired me to work together with them because rare cancers is something that is very close to my heart.
Your personal life experiences with cancer have impacted your professional life as well as your decision to work with TCF.
That's right. That's why rare cancers is something that is very close to my heart because my brother Daniel was diagnosed with a rare cancer called cholangiocarcinoma approximately 4 years ago, and unfortunately passed shortly after the diagnosis. So having experienced the journey that he had and the journey for the entire family made working together or being a charity runner for Target Cancer Foundation even more inspirational for me.
Now, a lot of people experience cancer in different ways. You were actually one of your brother's caregivers, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Well, look, Neil, at the time, and that made also the experience quite impactful. At the time, I was living in Sydney, Australia, so I was far away from my brother when he was diagnosed, and unfortunately, I didn't make it in time to say goodbye in person. So that's how fast everything happened since the diagnosis, and having experienced this firsthand made me better understand what people going through this experience are, I guess, looking for, and how important it is to have organizations such as Target Cancer Foundation that can support not only cancer patients, but also caregivers and families through this journey.
You know, traditionally, it's my understanding that it's been kind of a one-size-fits-all approach when it comes to some of these rare cancers, especially cancers as rare as your brother's. How is Bayer helping to shift this treatment paradigm from what we, currently have to, much better treatment or, faster treatment, more effective treatment?
Yeah, look, the progress that is being made is really fascinating. We are in the age of precision medicine. We now understand that cancer is defined by its genomic makeup, which has a profound impact on what doctors can learn about a patient's diagnosis, and even more importantly, what they can learn about how to treat people with cancer. So we're really on the verge of a paradigm shift with a really true tumor agnostic approach to treatment. So not necessarily with approaches which are directed to a certain organ, but really addressing the genomic makeup of the tumor. And at Bayer, we are developing medicines to treat patients based on the genomic profile of those tumors. And we are working hard so that we can help healthcare providers select the best treatments for their patients.
What would you say is the biggest challenge when it comes to funding research for rare cancers? In my mind, just because something is rare doesn't mean that researching and finding cures and better treatments should be put on the back burner.
That's correct. I mean, we are, just to give you a flavor of our investment in cancer, more than 50% of our total investment in research and development are dedicated to cancer research. And there's many other companies, of course, also investing heavily on trying to find new treatments for cancer. But I would say the main challenge is to have strong multidisciplinary collaborations, which are essential in order to advance cancer care. So that's why I really fundamentally believe that collaborations between pharmaceutical companies, patient advocacy organizations, healthcare providers, governments, etc., are really key in order to make meaningful changes in the way in which cancer is treated.
To shift just a bit, you mentioned that you've been running for about 15 years now and that you find marathon types of running particularly challenging. Is this the first Boston Marathon that you've run? And did you train differently for this particular race than any of the others that you've been training for throughout your running career?
Yeah. So again, I've been running a lot and I love it, even though I'm a slow runner. I am really a very passionate runner, Neil. And this was my third marathon, but my first Boston Marathon. So my first marathon was Sydney, Australia. I did Philadelphia, and now Boston Marathon was my third one. But it was, I would say, a really special one, not only because of how iconic the Boston Marathon is, but importantly also because of the purpose that I was supporting.
And a lot of it obviously having to do with in memory of your brother. Did you think about him as you were running and thinking about this campaign with the TCF?
Oh, absolutely. There were so many. I mean, there in my relatively short experience, running marathons. During the race, you have lots of different thoughts, and sometimes you have to dig really deep, right, in order to get to the finish line. And I definitely thought a lot about my brother, about the good times that we spent together, about how grateful that I am that I can contribute so that other people dealing with cancers, just like my brother, can hopefully benefit from the research that is being done. And something that I was really looking forward to, at least when crossing the finish line, was to meeting Daniel's son, so my nephew, and his two kids, who came all the way from London to support me as I was running. So that made the whole experience even more special.
Outstanding. Give us a website where our listeners can learn more about TCF and about Bayer. So
TCF, Target Cancer Foundation, you can find their presence in internet. If you go to the website, you have all the contact information that you need in order to reach out. They are wonderful people that are really looking forward to supporting people going through their cancer journeys and are there to help. At Bayer, you can find us at www.bayer.com, and we're also here to help and support in any way we can.
And that Target Cancer Foundation is just like it sounds, targetcancerfoundation.org, correct?
That's correct.
Nelson, thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, and really impressive advocacy work. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Neil. Thank you very much, and have a great day.
You as well. You've been listening to Health Professional Radio. I'm your host, Neil Howard, in conversation with Nelson Ambrogio. Audio copies of this program are available at hpr.fm and healthprofessionalradio.com.au. You can also subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, listen in, download it SoundCloud, and be sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com, Health Professional Radio.